Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about deloading and the importance of it. And this is something I see a lot with younger lifters who think they have to go hard all the time, which again, you guys already know my stance is that's a problem. We need to have a very limited number of really hard sets per week. And most of your stuff needs to be leaving reps in reserve. But who think they need to go hard all the time, and they get this idea stuck in their head that if they take any downtime, that is missed opportunity. You know that, man, if I took a week off from my real lifting or just lifted lighter for a week, that it's going to cost me an entire week's worth of progress, right? And that's the way they think. And like, man, that week, that's a whole week missed every year, as if 1 week matters that much in the grand scheme of things. Well, the truth is, when we're dealing with training and you're training relatively hard, eventually you start getting little nagging aches and pains. You get inflammation, tendon inflammation, joint inflammation, all of these things. And usually, as these things start to occur, that's a sign that you need to back off a little bit. It's a sign that you need to back off a little bit, right? You need to recover. And what that generally means for me is, and it's going to depend on your lifestyle and everything else going on, that you need a deload week. Now, for me, I take deload weeks off completely from any real training for my own personal reasons. Not going to get into that. Other people, it's lighter, and I tend to prescribe those for clients. But here's the funny thing. When you do this, a lot of times people get upset. Your clients get upset. Or you tell people to deload, they're like, I can't do that, I'm going to miss gains. But here's the thing. If you've been training hard, you're going to grow during your off week. And I know people have said, but didn't you say way in the past, many, many, many years ago, that a muscle only grows for about 48 hours after you train it? Yeah, I said that. Guess what? It has turned out, as the science has looked closer and closer, that doesn't seem to be the case. What? Yeah, you're still getting some muscle growth, right? Even a week later, you are still seeing some small amounts of muscle growth, oftentimes, right? So if you're taking a deload week, particularly if you're still training real light and re-stimulating some blood flow and certain pathways. I don't ever recommend novices or people in their first year or two of training take a full week off. They just need a much lighter week. If you're really advanced like I am, you can get away with taking whole weeks off. Right? So what happens here? Well, you're still growing a little bit during that week. But what else is happening? All that additional inflammation in things like your tendons, your joints, everything else, that is going down. Because that's a problem. When tendons and things start getting inflamed, connective tissue starts getting inflamed, your nervous system starts shutting down your ability to contract muscle fibers as hard. So that means that you're stimulating less per session, per rep, per set anyways. Your performance starts to degrade. And it's your body's protective mechanism to keep you from getting hurt. So when you look at it from that perspective and you realize that if you deload and everything heals up, you're going to have better performance the weeks following it. So you'll stimulate better adaptations, better muscle growth, better strength gains. And you're still going to make some during that off week. And the net effect is that over the course of a year, if you take several deloads, I take about eight weeks a year. So out of 52 weeks a year, I personally spend 44 of those weeks training. And you guys see how I train. It's not coming in and playing around. So when we do it this way, the net result, though, is more potential gains through the year. But you know what? You're less beat up. You're less destroyed. Because otherwise, eventually, we start to accrue little nagging tendon pain, joint pain, things like that sometimes. And if you're not experiencing any of those things and you're not getting a lot of fatigue, then hey, maybe not. I have clients who are like that. And the thing is, deloads don't always need to be planned in that regard. A lot of times, people who go on vacations, they have things come up to where they have to miss a week of training. And invariably, I find that clients, and this could apply to a lot of you out there who have busy lives, eventually their life or a vacation they take or whatever, it doesn't give them access to the equipment they're going to want for half a week or a week. And if that happens, guess what? We get a default deload week. And it just kind of happens by default. So we don't even have to plan it in that case. And I have people who do this, like, well, what do I need to do? I'm going on the road or whatever. I'm like, well, take some bands with you and or maybe a kettlebell or a dumbbell and just do some light dumbbell, kettlebell band work. That's your deload week. Enjoy your vacation. Enjoy your time away. So they don't always have to be planned. In other cases, I have people who get so beat up from training, and the most extreme I have is one young man who we deload every 4 weeks. And actually, I've got close to two who almost need every fourth week we take a deload week. So what does that mean? Well, say I'm running them through 5-3-1 type cycles. That means literally on the fourth week of each cycle, we deload. And that might mean we just drop down to 40 or 50%. And just do 10. So you almost do boring but big, but you go lighter than what they normally do. If they normally run 60%, I'll run it at 50. If they normally do 50, I'll run it down at 40, and we skip the heavy work completely. Skip most of the supplemental work. They just come in and do, with at least 5 reps in reserve, some sets of 10 on their big lifts. And then they recover. We come back and we make new gains. And again, something that's very difficult to get through to a lot of younger guys. Guys who start to get a little bit older, they realize, yeah, I need these weeks. This is what lets me continue to function. And people see it's heavy as I lift, and they see sometimes the training volumes and the tonnages that I move in a workout, particularly on squat and deadlift days. All right, and then they're like, how do you handle this at age 45? Well, this is one of the factors. Deload. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.